Scandinavian Bob here, hi. As someone who has been involved in the PMO addiction community for 13 years by now, I often get questions about just taking a short look at some dirty websites and whether or not that is bad for the dopamine system. I also get questions like, is peaking a relapse on NoFap? Okay, so let's say you were to intentionally take a 4-second glance at some adult video. Would that hurt your dopamine system? Well, actually, no. Our dopamine systems are not that sensitive. But I still would not recommend it, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But let me first answer the question if it's a relapse or not. Well, technically, if you only care about semen retention, it wouldn't be a relapse. But in NoFap terms, or doing a PMO reboot, it would be a relapse. But here's the thing, I actually hate these kinds of labels, because what counts as a relapse or not is ultimately up to the individual. That's why I keep saying the phrase, your life, your rules, so often in my videos. So you are the one who has to decide what rules you will have, and then if you break one of those rules, then yeah, you just relapsed. Okay, so now, why did I just say that I do not recommend peaking, even though it doesn't downregulate your dopamine receptors? Well, here's the deal. Peaking almost always lead to a full-blown porn relapse, and those on the other hand are devastating for your dopamine system. When I started getting serious about not peaking, that's when I noticed my streaks getting longer. And I have to tell you, if you are trying to reboot while allowing yourself to peak, it is really like you are fooling yourself, because you are not making it any easier for yourself. You are in essence teaching your brain to not fully let go of the addiction by doing that. And even if it doesn't directly downregulate your dopamine receptors, you are probably prolonging your recovery time if you do it regularly. When it came to my own reboot a few years back, I had to draw a line, no exceptions. So I didn't allow peaking, because let's be real here, it almost never stops at a peak, especially not if you are addicted to porn. You start with a few seconds, then you're on to something else. You get pulled in, and before you know it, you've crossed that line. Then comes that, well, I might as well go all out now moment. And after that, well, there you go. There the shame and guilt arrives, right on schedule. So here are 2 takeaways I want you to get from today's video. 1. Just a peak is an addiction lie. Don't fall for it. 2. If you never peak, you won't relapse to porn. Well, sure, there are other ways to relapse to porn, sometimes even planned relapses where you just don't care. And I'll talk more about those in another video, but for now, I would highly recommend you start working on not allowing yourself to peak, and you will be miles ahead. And if you ever wondered how long your reboot is going to take and what factors play a part in how quickly you'll recover, then take a look at the video you see on the screen right here, because over there you'll discover some truly fascinating things, right? This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.